started, I'm like, I think Cloud9's going to damage was coming from Senna, but she was the harasser. And yeah, I think it's actually very compelling to see.
Brianna, Immortals comp speaks very heavily to wanting to team fight, to 5v5, to find that engage, jump onto someone like that Senna, take them down, or the Zoe, try to pick them off. I do think Cloud9 is going to have to be a bit more creative about their engages, try to find opportunities where they can force Immortals to fight them, poking out with Zoe and then looking to follow up on that poke with an engage or a flank then from Lee Sin, from Vladimir, these types of stories. We also have to always remember that you can play through side lane with Vladimir, especially when paired along a Senna and a Tahm Kench. You get in any sort of difficult 1v1 situation, that Senna ult can turn to tides, and also rotations coming through from the Tahm Kench, ulting someone into your lane, turning a 1v1 into a 3v1, maybe taking down that set and swinging the game in your favor.
All right, so Blabber, 6 games now on Lee Sin across 10 games in the LCS. The full-time starter for Cloud9. He is everyone's favorite for best jungler in the LCS right now. Of course, with a lot of winning lanes and a lot of skilled players, it's not much of a surprise to have that happen. But honestly, Cloud9's been rewarded with their awesome positions this year.
I mean, his kick that he pulled off yesterday on Lee Sin, I think was one of the best mechanical plays I've seen in the LCS ever. He has really pulled off some special stuff and is shining truly in his first kind of full-time starter as Cloud9.
Yeah, beautiful stuff right here to see him grow into that role, and we are now onto the Rift. Can Immortals be the first team to stop the Cloud9 undefeated season? They'd be one of the teams I think could do it. I think they have gotten a lot of unexpected results so far. I think they can be very creative. We heard Soaz talk about his respect for Huni being another creative player. I think finding something a little unorthodox could be very good here for Immortals. If that does come through, they can find some kind of interesting line of play. But real quick, though, we've got Gabby standing by with Reaper.
Thank you so much, Freak. I just wanted to get some words from you before we head into this game. First of all, 9-0 going into the second half of the regular portion. Is there anything different in your approach once that happens?
No, not really.
That's what I figured as much, because a lot of the picks that you're coming through are very similar to the first half. One different thing I want to know is Vladimir. So how do you feel that he's going to be able to do in the top lane, especially if there is a focus from the other team?
Probably Licorice get pushed in 24/7 and he's scaling out. Later team fight, he gonna crushing the enemy team, but early game probably rough for him. So yeah, we'll see.
Any plans to try and combat the team fighting that Immortals are definitely going to try and insist upon here?
I don't think they can out team fight us.
All right, well, that's words from Reaper. Let's head back into game.
All right, well, I had our awesome stats team check stuff out for me. Blabber isn't he the first player to play a champion 6 times this split. He is the most Lee Sin one trick of any player. But Froggen and, I actually forgot the name, I want to say it's Huni, both have 5 picks on their most played champions. They can tie. They can tie for the 6x, but I want to point out Blabber is very much all about playing Lee Sin, and hey, that's been rewarded.
Yeah, I think he also does have a lot of other champions that he can bring into the mix when appropriate, but hey, Lee Sin, very strong in the meta right now. They love pairing it alongside these AP solo laners. And it was nice to hear some of that insight from Reaper. It's pretty much largely as expected. This is what I was talking about with Vladimir. Hey, you just farm it out, you scale, you look to get more done later on. We'll have to track if he can withstand that early game, though, from Soaz and Smith.
Sven gets a soul. He's on the way, gets the double auto in there as well, picks that one up. And we'll keep the track going over the course of time, but bot lane is being pushed in. And I want to point out, by the way, that it's Tahm Kench Doran's ring and Sven going for the sickle. So, it is very harass-based, and it's Sven trying to stack up, letting Vulcan get the money.
Yep. And I actually really like this, right? Because I do think that you need to make these adjustments. You just won't have souls in pro play if all you're doing is farm. You need to be harassing. So Sven going for this sickle, really cool adjustment. You're going to be stacking that up by harassing. You're going to be stacking up your souls from harassing. And around the time that you do actually complete that support item, I'm assuming he's going to start picking up way more of the farm, look to kind of scale there. This is going to make Vulcan much more of a true tank in that front line. Potential for a 2v2 going on here around mid lane as Smithy's wrapping around.
All right, there's going to be the Drowsy. Decent damage to be found. Here's the Q's going to land. They go right in for it. Knows he can ward hop, or at least, sorry, just W back to his team. And they burn Ika's heal and give him to half HP.
Yeah, Niski, I think, had a stolen summoner there, so was able to use the heal for the dive. Not much risk there. Grabs another heal for himself now. Smithy, though, pathing up to that top side. He is going to be spotted out in this Tri-Brush ward, but there is potential for some sort of a play. He's just going to be on Krugs now, and Cloud9 is aware of where Smithy is, thanks to that ward that we are seeing right down at the bottom of the screen right there.
as that's going to be smited away. So he gets some of the gold, and I believe without killing the other medium Krug will not force the despawn of the camp, so it'll just be a very minor amount of gold and XP available to Blabber if he ever walks up there. As, yeah, I think Smithy is known to be around. Licorice can, like, see him at this point. He's in vision range, so he's got to fight in the bottom side. Nice chomp for Vulcan, and that goes over.
This is really fun. You know, it's a way to actually see them continue to play this pick that is so good for them.
Yeah.
While, you know, kind of adjusting to the changes that were made in the meta. And it does feel a little bit reminiscent of kind of like the Sonateric type stuff that we had seen in the past, where you're, you know, putting a lot of farm on your support early to get them very strong. Obviously, they can't do the double support items because they'll actually be, you know, cut off, and they'll hit that limit where you're getting less and less gold from the farm. So, you know, Vulcan will be way behind on the Sight Stone. That is something that is going to come out. And I'm not even sure if Vulcan is going to build a Sight Stone this game as a result.
Well, that is a knockup. That is some damage to the root over the back. Now you got Smithy here as well, and Cocoon goes on to Sven, who then is chomped by Vulcan. I think you just have to go for the stun on the top bench, or they're always brought to safety. So pretty easy walkaway for C9.
Yeah, going to be able to back it up. Just good positioning, I think, from the two. Vulcan trying to have that. Ooh, that sleep was really close on Hawkswell, who could have been in trouble if that did land. And up here on this top side, again, it is more trading, but especially with Phase Rush, you can beat down the Vladimir a bit, but he can actually keep his distance, heal back up with the constant transfusions, and really just play this fairly defensive, because as Vladimir, as long as you're farming okay and you're staying alive, you're getting more than the set is.
Yep, and we're continuing to see a fairly standard pickup, which is Doran's Ring. Even if you don't need the mana regen, it's still gold efficient, ability, power, and health, which are stats that Vladimir really, really wants. So we're going to see a lot more of that over time, and we see the same thing for champions like Akali as well. It's just a good item.
One of the things that's also really nice about that item for Vladimir is Vladimir has pretty low base AD. It can be fairly hard to actually, you know, last hit sometimes on this champion. Having the Dorans for the extra damage on that is going to make it easier to last hit.
Yeah, Doran's Ring specifically has a 5 damage versus minions passive on basic attack, for those who didn't know that was on the tooltip. You doesn't buy that item. But there you go. Makes your life a little bit easier. So I was just shoving in. The first TP is burned, and Licorice has the first power select you really care about. The Arm Guard is in. Make him quite tanky. Now, worth pointing out, he's only fighting a bit of physical damage from Soaz.
Actually,
Ica and Xpith your matchup.
I actually don't like the buy. I think it's a little bit weird when you're building no HP and you're going to be against an Elise who can come in and one hit you. Yes, it is very effective if you're only against that set and just kind of chilling there. But I tend to think just the CDR rush is very effective both in the 1v1 against set, and also is going to do more for you against Xpith if he shows up.
Shockwave, Dissonance, half HP, knock up, knock. We've got as Disney kites around it. Goes back for a bit of poke as well, and almost answers the entire health bar.
Yeah, the Spell Thief's speed up there when he actually pops that passive, utilizes his heal. He gets so much movement speed. He did not flash out of that. He just straight up runs. Altec now in trouble.
Oh, that is a bit of pain right there. Altec has to run back, has no summoners, and first blood comes through to Sven.
The roam is immediately punished. Altec not level 6, pushing up there, does get caught and chased down. Glacial Augment really helping out in that. And they knew Hawkwo had made his move mid. Niski able to avoid that with just the expended heal. So we'll watch this one more time. And I think Niski is one of the best players in the league at these little movements, at the dodges. He's so good at changing direction quickly and really knowing his limits. And then there, pops the heal, just straight up runs on out. I think 9 out of 10 pros flash that probably.
Sure.
I do think that was really, really nicely done. And then down on the bottom side, the root needed to be flashed. Yeah, needed to be flashed by Altec. Once that connects, they're going to continue the dive. He gets chased down, loses both summoners, and first blood goes over on Sven, who, you know, is more reliant on that gold than usual because he's not picking up the minion farm. So this is even better for him. And he's likely very ahead of what the curve is normally. He already has 28 souls. So that's actually quite a lot more than you would normally see in pro play because they don't trade so much. But he's just basically right-clicking on his opponents.
He may just play dedicated support. I wouldn't be surprised if the first item there was Umbral Glaive. As, a big fight on the top side. Ulti's burn on both halves. Licorice trying to kite away as much as he can. Get a second Q across, and now here comes Sven. That's going to be plenty of damage. Easily grabs the soul. True damage does come through, but Empowered Transfusion is in. And with the ward, going to be another kill picked up. Sven's 2-0.
Very well done. Grabbing another kill on the rotation. They make the move over to Rift Herald. Licorice starting that fight off against Soaz, knowing he has the help from Sven. Doesn't even cost him Sen ult or anything like that. And Soaz intentionally not flashing, obviously. Once you get hit by that root, you are going to be dead. And I don't think he really had any chance to actually get out of there anyway. But down on the bottom side, it is Immortals pushing. They're going to leave Altec solo, while Cloud9 does try to rush this down up here.
If he summons at the wrong time, Smithy can randomly stun him. The first second is still a real channel, and
Have you actually seen it interrupted? I still have never seen it.
Because there's like not really every time too.
Yeah.
It's not that second channel like before. So big damage here. This turret, I'm not sure if they're going to stay for the summon or they're going to go for it a little bit later.
Okay, another shockwave over on Iniski. He's going to have to back it up, but this is mostly just for a lane priority. Ica, relatively low cooldown on the ultimate, has the blue buff, so just using it for an HP positive trade, not expecting to get a kill for himself there. And Hakuo now on that roam up the top side, helping so as to defend this turret, while it is Licorice laning solo right now against Altec.
Yep. 1 CS gained as Vulcan couldn't have grabbed that one because Tongush was on cooldown, and a little bit of money comes through.
I just want to point out this nice little setup, you know, while the wards are actually being picked out. So.
Wait, hold on. This is actually a million damage eventually. Q's on cooldown, never mind. Ike is fine. Take it back.
He is going to survive. But Cloud9, they just basically had a really nice kind of line of wards up on the top side. That is a very funny Rift Herald drop. But you can see, you know, this was the setup for this Rift Herald, right? You know, there are 3 pink wards all across here. They have that Scuttle Crab taken as well. It allows their bot lane to push very safely, knowing that they're not going to be kind of attacked from that angle. And Rift Herald comes in. They will clean this up. Is Sven in range? Yes, he is.
Yep.
Intelligence moves forward.
5 out of 70, right? Because, of course, the Lee Sin is nowhere near the, like, extended Herald gold radius. So it's all on Sven as the only person within 800 units right there. 570 goes in, a ton of cash, and the support, right? He has 11 CS, and the
And he's up
Spectre
1,000 gold.
has the most gold in the game. He's doing great.
Yep, multiple kills, including first blood, plus solo first turret gold, right?
Yeah.
That'll do it right there. That is the advantage. You know, 400 from first blood, 570 from that turret. That alone really kind of makes that difference. So Sven, off to the races, is actually going for the Umbral Glaive. That is the vision lethality item here too. That is going to allow him to reveal wards and do the 3 hits of damage, so one-shot those regular wards. Really does play well around vision. It is going to be Vulcan straight up rushing towards the Deadmans.
This is going to be just getting rushed down right now as Immortals are not really able to play down to this bottom river with all the vision gone. And of course, the tankier than normal Tom Kent with all the extra farm is going to feel very comfortable as well as the second Drake goes down. And C9 are already up 3,000 gold in 2 Drakes.
And when you take into consideration the fact that we talked about, all right, well, you got to be worried about the early game if you're Vladimir. There's going to be all this pressure coming from, you know, from Soaz and Xmithie. There was none of that, right? So the gold lead is really even kind of more effectively when you're taking into consideration that matchup and how powerful the Vladimir can be later on, how much of a teamfight force he can be, and the amount of souls that Sven has. He's just way ahead of the curve.
And now a play towards the bottom side. Vulcan brings him right in, and Soas going to try his best. He dunks him out of the wave, and there's the really nice knock-up by Hakuo. But is it enough damage? Sven pops a stopwatch. Vulcan's sitting around, and Blabber's there as well. Cloud9 staying alive, but they're still in danger. Licorice forced to flash away. All 5 are around. They certainly tried very hard. They didn't get very far, Cloud9.
Yeah, not able to kill anyone there, but Immortals only had 4 here. Cloud9 did bring 5. So the untold story right now is Altec pushing up on that top side, trying to grab some more gold for himself, but Sven has a ridiculous amount of souls. Already past that second mark of additional range. He has 50 souls at 12 minutes.
Oh, that was almost a kill on the Elise. Nice jump away from Blabber as well. Gets out of Hakuo's knockup as the TP went top side, and Licorice was able to hold the wave without losing more than that single turret late. Bot lane's under heavy fire as Cloud9 looks to extend the gold lead.
Yeah, going to be able to grab this turret here too. They're going to be 4,000 gold ahead at 13 minutes. That is just insane. When it's a 2-kill game and they are this far ahead in gold, they have dominated you in the laning phase. They have dominated you on moving around the map. And this is what Cloud9 is doing to teams right now in the LCS. They are making you look silly.
Yeah. But Azael, this is what Immortals has teams do to them, and they're 5-4. They take the gold deficit.
They're not this behind normally, Freak.
I know. I was mostly kidding.
Yeah.
I'm actually entirely kidding.
I object.
You know what? That's fair. Your objection is sustained. As a former juror, literally a former juror,
Nope.
Literally. I don't know who would be figuratively a juror.
Yeah.
I accept your objection.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to know that you have that life experience.
Yeah, I do.
You know?
It was a very boring case.
All right, well, 13 minutes in, Cloud9 not going to be able to grab any more turret plates, but they did fully clear off the one team spot and top. And now it's going to be about this next dragon, right? They already have 2 very early dragons. They could look for the Infernal in or around 16 minutes. That is on pace for potentially, 20, 21 minutes for a Soul. That is insane. That is so damn fast. And it is going to be one that is very, very effective when you look over at this Inferno Soul that is so easy to apply from Zoe, long-range poke, even Sven there can get involved, and it's adding to the potential kind of one combo style of damage that someone like Licorice can threaten in a team fight.
All right, well, the predictions for who's going to win, I think we know that one. Xfinity, though, is going to find a lot of damage, and Blabber doesn't have a way out. A nice setup for Xfinity, knocked him down.
Yep, CC chain 100-0 there, very well done, but Cloud9 forcing out that ultimate. Vulcan now has the dead man, so he's a very tanky catfish here. Runs up, hits him with the tongue lash. That sets up for what would be an easy route from Sven. So already, Altec forced to use that ultimate and chunked very, very low at the same time. And the more souls you collect early on, the easier it gets to continue collecting souls because your range is longer. It's easier to hit those autos and continue stacking it up. And Sven is well and truly so far ahead of any LCS game I have seen as far as the souls go.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you get even more souls if you're not farming yet, still giving them the kills and a lot of the harass damage. So Shotgun comes in, that's decent damage, but right into the Shroud they go. Feeling safe yet again as Licorice is going to do battle with Xmithy, and 3-level lead. I think Vlad wins that one.
Yep, he won't be too worried about it. Already up at level 11, where he is going to be doing very, very good. Really, the first 9 levels of the game are the hardest for Vlad. It kind of is all good past there. Once you have enough CDR, you have the maximum rank on your queue, it becomes very difficult for Set to do anything in a matchup like this. And the rest is kind of just that added bonus. The amp damage coming across is really going to help some of the other damage dealers to finish people off. And because it is just kind of set as that only real frontliner for Immortals, they are going to be ending up fairly squishy, and I think it's going to be largely reliant on finding a really good engage from Hako with that follow-up shockwave from Micah if they want to have a chance to fight.
Next Herald Summon comes in, and Zen is about to get the rest of the damage down onto this turret, has tagged it. That's going to be an almost dead turret. There it goes, rest of the way down. C9 has cracked all 3 outers, haven't lost a single structure themselves. As they look to play around the bottom river, the Infernal Drake has respawned, and already Blabber is on that one. Ooh, that was almost a Cocoon. That barely missed.
Yeah, I get coming around the side. Is the potential to cut someone off if they go over, but Blabber's just soloing this. And Immortals really has no way in. If Micah shows, he can just be jumped on and kind of kicked over by Blabber, so doesn't really have the opportunity to look for anything. I think he was hoping that Zoe would show and try to look for more poke of the wall. We could see a potential shockwave attempt, but I don't think he's got much of a shot at getting it.
It's going to be some damage, but Blabber times.
Damage.
Yeah. I think Licorice probably walked closer, gave him the W out a bit sooner, but still works out in the end, still gets the Drake, and it's still 3-0 in that scoreline as the ult comes into the turret. Niski, though, has to flash to stay alive. Now gets a quick shield. Doesn't quite land the paddle surface, so not allowed to fight anymore.
Yeah, Niski, pretty brazen attempt to just walk through the melee champion set there. And Soaz reminds him that he still can get some damage done. Forcing out both summoners, forcing out the defensive ultimate there from Senna, as well as the ultimate from Tahm Kench. So good pressure from Soaz can help to relieve a little bit of the threat that they had been under over these last couple minutes. Maybe force Niski a bit more defensive while he waits on those cooldowns.
Yeah, that might slow him down a little bit, but we know that a Wind Condition is coming in about 4 minutes when that Infernal Drake spawns. That soul probably seals the deal here. Gold difference has stuck at 4,000 though. I meant it a little bit jokingly, but this is a little bit the Immortals' comfort spot where they get behind, but they still find ways to play at least the game intelligently despite the deficits, right? They found a good pick a little earlier from Xfinity. They found a good fight up the top side. They are still working with what they've got.
Yeah, and they're holding on. They're not 100% of this game, but it is very concerning when you take into consideration Cloud9's track record throughout this split, which has basically been early Soul, first Baron, game ends. And that's pretty much what it looks like almost every single time. They very rarely have gone over 30 minutes. So Immortals are going to have to be able to withstand this because Cloud9 is not a team to sit back. They are always pushing for additional advantages. They are always willing to make these aggressive plays. counting on the fact that they can outplay, counting on the fact that they can win these fights. We heard Vulcan talking earlier in that interview about how we can take any team fight and win, and team fights that should be 50-50 are 80-20 because we have the best mechanical player in every role.
Sure, and even beyond that, like they're winning games more than 80-20, right? They're winning 100-0 in all these games so far. If they were an 80-20 team, they'd be 8-2 at the end of this game, right? So even beyond, I mean, that's the expected value of the record,
so
right?
I will contest you on that because
Okay.
here's the thing. So that's true if one fight decides everything,
Well,
right?
and that's the point I'm going to. Is they're not just, well, it's just team fight coin flips, and if we win, we win. It's they're so much better than even just their team fighting skill that it is 10-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, totally. And they're willing to continuously take these fights. So if they take one and they miss execute, right? We saw, against TSM, Blabber and Niski double killed by Bjergsen early on. Bjergsen's 2-0 over Renekton, gets double buffs. Should be pretty bad, but they have the confidence to continue taking these fights, and over the long run, they will outplay you more often than not, as has been evidenced by this 9-0 record. So Cloud9 in full control, 2 minutes until that next Infernal. That is going to be the big point to contest.
And Sven just crested the 80 soul mark right now, under 20 minutes in. That's a really high score line. I want to point out a couple things he did so far in this game. You saw a little bit ago, he was letting Blabber kill the red buff, and then sitting around by the Raptor camp. Large monsters always drop a soul, and Dragon drops 2. So if you're around, you get some extra souls to this one. Now a fight towards the bottom side, early flash. E plus Q plus everything else gets the extra move speed, and out goes Licorice.
Yep, Pop's Phase Rush does get out of there. Pretty respectful flash, I have to say. I guess he just doesn't want to take any sort of risk. I'm not sure that they could have actually just burst him down 100-0, but this guarantees he's not going to be in any danger of that. And yeah, I mean, Sven's sitting at 700 range right now. That is pretty intimidating stuff. This early on in the game, doesn't even need a rapid fire or anything like that to do it. And they have essentially that extra tank from Vulcan because normally you are kind of more just standing behind your teammates, eating them up, but you're not really a true tank on Tahm Kench unless you have something like a Stoneblade active. Whereas in this case, he has very, very good itemization, right? Like he's going to be down levels compared to a Soul Lane tank, but really as far as itemization, right up there.
Yeah, I mean his money, he's 2K above Hakuo individually. The AD carries actually, it's gone towards Altec slightly actually, because as time has gone on and farm has been more important. That is getting different, but now there is a fight towards the bottom side. Rappel up, and Blabber wants to find the CC. Never quite goes for the kick. Shockwave builds some time. Looking for the knockups now as well as Ica fights the back side. As now he looks for Niski cutting away. Ult's gonna come over the top. Ica almost dead. They find that kill from Sven. He's 3-0. Every kill has gone to him.
Soaz is behind them. Will he try to go for the play here? Could get turned on, but it looks like he's not gonna be able to, and that's probably just Soul. Xmithie's gonna have to reset. Dragon is spawning here in 10, and Cloud9 take another dominant teamfight win.
Attempted poke. Niski finds almost asleep, but if they can find a kill on Immortals, they'll go for the kill. Doesn't land that one though, and with the Dragon alive, that should be an easy pickup. Q over the wall.
Yeah, Niski's just gonna stay over here. He wants to keep Xmithie away. Deny any potential chance of a 50-50, but Xmithie, as we can see, has no interest in coming over to this Dragon. He's actually heading up towards Baron, maybe trying to get the scuttle, a little bit of vision to prevent that, but this early on, 22 minutes you have Soul and this type of a gold lead, this is an insane advantage for Cloud9.
Yeah. I want to still give credit to Immortals. The gold lead has stayed 3,000 for the last 10 minutes. That is nice, but C9 playing defensively for the Soul, they get it after this fight.
Yep, so here it is one more time. Blabber going in, flashes back as he does not want to follow Hako into that turret and get CC'd up, then die. They turn over onto Ica, who is kind of separated out from the team, and do get him very, very low, able to finish him off with that flash forward from Sven for the final auto. Cloud9 looking for a proactive play, able to make it happen, grabbing the soul as a result.
And you can see damage done the entire game. Senna is indeed topping the charts. Vladimir versus Melee, that's not much of a surprise either. But it is Senna who's putting out some damage, so Soaz maybe put in a little bit of work here. Now that we're into sort of mid-game team fights and Altec is about to be at 2 major items, probably see that Xayah come online pretty soon, but mid-tier 2 is now gone. The gold lead goes back up to 4,000, and Baron is easily on the plate.
Yeah, and that's where they're going to go. They're going to look to pressure around that. And I think that's why we saw Xmithie running over, trying to get vision in that Baron area. But Cloud9 very clearly will be able to start up this fight. I think their turn is pretty good. It is incredibly difficult to actually assail that established position, kind of similarly to how we saw Jizuke performing on Zoe for EG. we can look to see Niski zoning people out, poking them out, dissuading Immortals from even challenging in that area, and that's where they could potentially just close it out.
More magic if Niski grabs a cleanse.
You can also note how Sven intentionally not CSing that cannon. There is a guaranteed soul if you do not CS the cannon, so he allowed that to go over to Niski and pick up the guaranteed soul for himself, kind of overall more value for the team when you're counting that additional AD and potential range.
Yeah, even though Sven has some CS, he's generally not trying to take the minions away. He's mostly grabbing them when Vulcan can't.
Yeah.
It is because you can take 3 CS every 10 minutes and not take a penalty. And a lot of the games we've been seeing of this sort of like the bot farm player is playing support Senna, they will take 3 CS every 10 minutes. Like they will, or every 3 CS a minute rather, right? And they will take half the melees. Sven was not going to do that. He was 0 CS the first 3 waves because he was saying, no, I'm only going for soul farm. I'm not trying to get 19 gold and some souls. I'm going max soul farm. And I think that is the right way of playing it ultimately. I know Jat really champions mix and matching a bit of both, but with the increased soul drop chance when you don't CS, I think you go full support style.
Yeah, I completely agree. And here we have Cloud9 on the Baron, is spotted, but look at Licorice. He's ready for this flank, and if Immortals fully commit in for this, they are going to get roasted by this Vladimir, and they are moving forward now.
Sleeping Elise, that's going to be her looking a little bit to be at half HP already. Jumps away, stays alive, but a very clean peel for C9.
I feel like C9 could have just stayed on the Baron, though. Just leave Blabber and Sven on the Baron and allow Immortals to more fully commit to it, then turn for the fight. Because when they actually looked to turn, Licorice wasn't really behind anyone. So they are, again, back on this. It does go down pretty slowly with this Senna as kind of that only marksman. You know, not a lot of pressure to kick that down pretty quick.
But they're still poking down. They've still pushed Hakma to half HP. Smithy, Glass comes over the wall. He's on the top left-hand side. I believe he's in fog the whole time.
Yeah.
Now he's seen by Vulcan. They know where he is, and he has smite, but no flash. They gotta watch out for the chance of a steal. The engage comes in, never Hakma. Vulcan at half health. Blabber still on the Baron. They don't quick get the catch from Smithy. Licorice stunned out. They go for the engage. The nice kick comes in. They find that first kill. Also to the top, but it's a kill in now for Altec. Can they win the fight? A smite comes in, but the kill to get it back as well. So as running for dear life, but doesn't live either. Altec now trying to run away from a very tanky Tom Kenshin. Sven putting in the damage as well. Ica is next. Sven onto a triple, going for the Quadra, and Hakuho trying to find the way to run away. Will they get the root? No, but a triple and a Baron picked up for Cloud9.
Cloud9 able to clean that up. A bit of a botch engage from Licorice, but such a strong performance here from Niski and Sven cleaning that up on the back end of that fight. They have the Baron, they have the Soul, and this is traditionally where Cloud9 just ends the game. So let's watch this one more time. Licorice looking for the engage over onto Xmithy. You know, the initial ultimate used on Vulcan, but he's pretty heavily healthy here. The flash and E there actually just whiffs on Xmithy. Licorice did not actually close the gap. He gets cocooned immediately, really nicely played by Xmithy. Knocked down pretty much immediately after that. Then the turn comes over to Blabber. This is where it is a lot of pressure on Blabber. He actually hit the smite as he is getting shockwave and about to die. So good presence of mind to not panic. And in the meantime, Sven keeping range, has an incredible amount of souls. Him, Vulcan, and Niski able to clean up the rest of this fight and have everything they need to look to close this one out. Sven sitting over 100 souls now. Nion unassailable with this range of Tom Kent behind him.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at 725 basic attack range.
Plus rapid fire.
Yeah, makes it look really good. And okay, that is another kill in for Sven. He's feeling real comfortable here as the push continues onto the bottom side. Xmithy running out of health as well. Ult comes over the top. Look at the damage onto sleeping Altec as the Q comes out, forces the flash away as well. Bottom inhibitor is broken. Mid already siege down as well. Cloud9 on average win in under 30 minutes. And this game looks to be no different, continuing to absolutely slaughter other LCS teams. The second round robin begins as the first one ended an undefeated run, absolute smashing early games, and closing out quickly as they've still got a 5-on-4 right now. Looking to knock down the last few minion waves and push in towards the Nexus. Immortals gonna do their very best to hold on, but they are down 8,000 gold, a Baron buff, an Infernal Soul, and 100 soul stacked Senna.
Yeah, Cloud9 have everything they need to close this out, but they are getting a bit hesitant. Immortals has 5 members. Great engage.
Looking for the charm, the knock-up to get the kill on the Blabber. Nice pickup there. It's a quick save as Sven's going to stay alive, and Xfinity is going to drop right after Hako already has. Tries for the flash to the backline. Sven's flash for safety, and now they've got a 4v3. This should be the game ended now as Sven heals up the squad. Goes ahead and just takes the CS just to push in. Doesn't matter anymore. That's almost a kill coming in. Ika's going to stay alive, but the Nexus will drop. It's a 29-minute win. They're going to pad the DPM real quick. SOS does his very best, and it's not enough. Cloud9, 10-0.